Okay, sir. Jai Hind, everyone. I, Cadet Vanna Bhojwani, welcomes CTO Neeraj Emmanuel, seniors, and all my dear friends for Aatm Bharat Awareness Campaign. The best thing about life is that it presents us with an opportunity to learn something new every day. And what better than learning from successful fellow countrymen who have proved themselves by displaying excellent leadership qualities? So, I would like to call UP18 SCF 134113 Cadet Prakash Singh Tomar for speech on one of the eminent leaders.
Am I audible to all?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so सरफरोशी की तमन्ना अब हमारे दिल में है, देखना है जोश कितना बाजुए कातिल में है. So good morning to you all. I, Cadet Prakash Singh Tomar, is here to give a speech on one of our prominent leader who sacrificed his life at a very early age. Yes, he is Martyr Bhagat Singh. Bhagat Singh was born in Punjab on 27 September 1907 in a Sikh family deeply involved in political activities. The family was steeped in nationalism and involved in movements for independence. At the time of Bhagat Singh's birth, his father was in jail for political agitation. After Jallianwala Bagh massacre happened, which shocked the Bhagat Singh once went to the spot after the school and returned with the soil in a bottle from Jallianwala Bagh and agitated that this soil is of our mother India, soaked with the blood of our fellow brothers and sisters. And the sacrifice of our brothers and sisters will never get wasted. And the most astonishing thing was that he was 12 at that time. By the time Bhagat Singh was 13, he was well familiar with the family's revolutionary activity. His father was a supporter of Mahatma Gandhi, and after Gandhi called for boycotting government-aided institution, which was non-cooperation movement, Bhagat Singh left the school and enrolled in National College of Lahore, where he studied European revolutionary movement. In time, he would become disenchanted with Gandhi's non-violent crusade, believing that armed conflict was the only way for political freedom. In 1926, Bhagat Singh founded the Naujawan Bharat Sabha, which is Youth Society of India, and joined the Hindustan Republic Association, later known as Hindustan Socialist Republic Association, where he met several prominent revolutionaries. Bhagat Singh had become a person of interest to the police by the time May 1927. He was arrested for allegedly being involved in bombing the previous October. He was released several weeks later and began to write the various revolutionary newspapers. In 1928, the British government held the Simon Commission to discuss the autonomy of the Indian people. Several Indian political organizations boycotted the event because the commission had no Indian representatives. In October, Bhagat Singh commemorated by Lala Lajpat Rai in protest against the Simon Commission. Police attempted to disperse the large crowd, and during the melee, Lala Lajpat Rai was injured by the Superintendent of Police, James A. Scott. Lala Lajpat Rai, as a result, Lala Lajpat Rai died because of heart attack. To avenge his friend's death, Bhagat Singh and two others plotted to kill Superintendent of Police James A. Scott, but instead, by mistake, they killed another officer, John P. Saunders. Bhagat Singh and his fellow conspirators escaped arrest despite a massive search operation against them. In May 1929, Bhagat Singh and an associate bombed the Central Legislative Assembly in Delhi to protest implementation of public safety bills. The bombs that they carried were not intended to kill someone, but to scare. As a result, no one was killed, though there were several injuries. The bombers planned to get arrested and stand trial so they could further promote their cause. The action of the young revolutionary was soon condemned by followers of Gandhi, but Bhagat Singh was delighted to have a stage on which to promote his cause. He offered no defense during the trial but disrupted the proceeding with rants of political dogma. He was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. Though further investigation, the police discovered the connection between Bhagat Singh and the murder of Officer Sounder, and he was rearrested. While awaiting trial, he led a hunger strike in prison. Eventually, Singh and his co-conspirators were tried to sentence to hang. He was executed on March 23, 1931. It is said that he kissed the hangman's noose before it was placed around his neck. His death brought mixed emotion throughout India. Followers of Gandhi felt that he was too radical to hurt the quest of freedom, while the supporters considered him a martyr. Singh remains a significant, though controversial figure in India's independence movement. He took to the violence due to helplessness and to defend his homeland. In his last letter, Bhagat Singh wrote, I have been arrested while waging a war. For me, there can be no gallows. Even the great historian Bipin Chandrapal once said, and I quote, Bhagat Singh and his comrades also made a major advance in broadening the scope and definition of revolution. Revolution was no longer associated with mere militancy or violence. It must go beyond the work of new socialist order. It must end exploitation of man by man. Unquote. His last message from jail, dated March 3, 1931, said, the struggle in India would continue so long as a handful of exploiters go on exploiting the labor of the common people for their own ends. It matters little whether the exploiters are purely British capitalists or British and Indian in alliance, or even purely Indian. At last, I will sum up with one of the famous poems that Bhagat Singh wrote in his prison, which was लिख रहा हूं मैं अंजाम जिसका कल आगाज आएगा मेरे लहू का हर एक कतरा इनकलाब लाएगा मैं रहूं या ना रहूं पर यह वादा है तुमसे मेरा कि मेरे बाद वतन पे मर मिटने वालों का सैलाब आएगा थैंक यू जय हिंद धन्यवाद
Thank you so much. For next speech, I would like to call UP18 SWF 114175 Cadet Monica Solanki.
Hello, am I audible?
Uh, Monica ma'am?
मेरी आवाज आ रही है तो नेटवर्क प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है शायद
यस आ रही है मैम आ रही है
आ रही है
Good morning and Jai Hind everyone. This is Flight Cadet Monica Solanki and today I'm going to speak on the topic. Uh, Today I'm going to speak on prominent leader Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. He is known as the Iron Man of India. He is remembered as a very strong and dynamic freedom fighter of India. He had actively contributed to the Indian freedom movement. Sardar Patel was one of the most eminent and prominent leaders of the Indian freedom struggle. He has immense contribution in bringing independence to our country. His early life and education. Sardar Patel was born on 31st October 1875 in Yuva Patel Patidar community in Nadiad village in Gujarat. His full name is Vallabhbhai Javedbhai Patel and popularly known as Sardar Patel. Sardar Patel's father, Javedbhai Patel, served in the army of Queen of Jhansi and mother, Ladarbai, was inclined towards spirituality. Patel was a very brave character since childhood. There had been an instance when he treated a painful boil without any hesitation using a hot iron rod. At the age of 22, when everyone completed their graduation, Sardar Patel completed his matriculation, and due to this, everyone thought that he would be doing ordinary jobs. After completing his matriculation, Sardar Patel continued his studies and became a law graduate, and later traveled to England to become a barrister. After returning to India, he continued practicing law in Ahmedabad, Gujarat. His contribution towards India's independence movement. A meeting with Mahatma Gandhi in October 1917 brought him closer to the India independence movement. He joined Indian National Congress and his initial movement started with Satyagrah in Gujarat against British atrocities. Later, he actively participated and volunteered the Quiet India movement in 1942, closely working with Gandhiji. Patel had a very strong contribution in uniting the people of India during India freedom movement. During this time, he was jailed many times. The feeling of patriotism and urge to expel out British from Indian territory becomes his first and only objective. Sardar Patel, the Iron Man of India. His life has been an inspiring and motivating one. Firstly, he achieved his professional goals with very little support from others, and thereafter playing the major decisive role in bringing the people of India together to fight for the India's independence. His belief in the principle of unity in diversity and stand united for the common cause of India's independence made him the Iron Man of India. Due to his leadership qualities and ability to connect to masses, he has been given the title of Sardar Patel, meaning Leader Patel. Life after India's independence. After independence, he played a prominent role in the integration of India. He persuaded the rulers of princely states to be united and be part of one India, one nation by traveling to far flung areas and border areas. Initially, after independence, he was appointed as the first Home Minister of India and simultaneously the Commander in Chief of Indian Armed Forces. Later, he also became the first Deputy Prime Minister of India. He is among one of the three leaders who led India from 1947 to 1950. Sardar Patel keeping unwell rapidly since the summer of 1950, and Patel died in 15 December 1950 after suffering a massive heart attack at Birla House in Bombay, now Mumbai in Maharashtra. So at the end, I will conclude that Sardar Patel's contribution to the Indian freedom struggle had been remarkable and incomparable. He was an immense source of inspiration for the youth of nation, not only during the freedom movement, but also in the current day. He's been termed as the self-made man in the true sense. His ideologies of integration have laid the foundation of unity. He was conferred as the Bharat Ratna Award posthumously in 1991. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Now, UP19 SCF 134105 Cadet Alok Pratap Singh will give a speech.
Thanks a lot, Vandana ma'am, for inviting. A great pleasure. Here I am well. Today I'm going to tell you about the unsung hero of our history, Lachit Borphukan. Please pay attention. Here I would like to mention here, Borphukan is not a name. It is a rank which is Senapati. There have been many such warriors in our history who fought the Mughals and the British a lot with their bravery, but sadly our historians have forgotten them, and the story of such warriors could not reach the general public of the country. Lachit Borphukan is counted among such warriors. Lachit was born on 24 November 1622 to a prominent official of the Ahom dynasty, a very brave and sensible Lachit from childhood, soon became the commander of the Ahom dynasty army. Here that and historians says that in 1662 the Mughals army occupied Guwahati, which Guwahati remained with the Mughals for the next 5 years. But in 1667, Guwahati was once again occupied by the Ahom kings. The hero of this battle was Lachit Borphukan, who very cleverly and bravely drove the Mughals out of the Guwahati. After this battle of the historic Saraighat was fought under the leadership of Lachit Borphukan, in which the Mughals had to face once again. Lachit died of disease shortly after the Battle of Saraighat, but this battle thus, but the gallant warrior became eternally immortal in his history. The name of Lachit Borphukan is still widely respected in Assam, and Lachit Day is celebrated every year on 24 November. The birthday of Lachit Borphukan gave a new dimension to the technique of fighting in water. Thank you so much.
Last but not the least, I would like to call UP19 SGF 134125 Cadet Rahul Kushwaha for speech. Cadet Rahul Kushwaha, are you there? I repeat, Cadet Rahul Kushwaha. Am I audible to you?
Yes, you are audible.
He is there, but switch off his audio and start not video.
Okay, we can proceed then.
Okay, sir. So thank you everyone for the speech. Now I would like to call UP19 SGF 134114 Cadet Kurban for patriotic song.
जय हिंद एवरीवन। मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
आवाज आ रही है आपकी।
हेलो, जय हिंद एवरीवन। UP19 SGF 134114 कैडेट कुर्बान। मैं आपके सामने एक पेट्रोल सॉन्ग गाना जा रहा हूँ जो बहुत ही लाइटली है। तो ऐसे है, मैं थोड़ा 2 लाइनों के संग आपके साथ शुरुआत करना चाहूँगा कि जर्रे जर्रे में छुपा है हौसले वालों का जोश, कि जर्रे जर्रे में छुपा है हौसले वालों का जोश, और पैदा होते हैं इसी मिट्टी से ही सरफरोश। जिंदगी मौत ना बन जाए संभालो यारो, जिंदगी मौत ना बन जाए संभालो यारो, हो रहा चैनो अमन, हो रहा चैनो अमन, हाँ मुश्किलों में है वतन, मुश्किलों में है वतन, सरफरोशी की समा दिल में जला लो यारो, जिंदगी मौत ना बन जाए संभालो यारो। एक तरफ प्यार है, चाहत है, वफादारी है, एक तरफ देश में एक तरफ देश में धोखा है, गद्दारी है, बस्तियां सहमी हुई सहमा चमन सारा है, गम में क्यों डूबा हुआ आज सब नजारा है, आग पानी की जगह अब्र जो बरसाएंगे, लहलहाते हुए सब खेत जुलक जाएंगे जाएंगे जाएंगे, हो रहा चैनो अमन, हो रहा चैनो अमन, हाँ मुश्किलों में है वतन, मुश्किलों में है वतन, सरफरोशी की समा दिल में जला लो यारो, जिंदगी मौत ना बन जाए संभालो यारो, जिंदगी मौत ना बन जाए संभालो यारो, हो रहा चैनो अमन, हो रहा चैनो अमन, हाँ मुश्किलों में है वतन, मुश्किलों में है वतन, सरफरोशी की समा दिल में जला लो यारो, जिंदगी मौत ना बन जाए संभालो यारो। थैंक यू एवरीवन। जय हिंद।
आकाश माइक ऑफ करो।
Thank you. Next is UP18 SGF 134126 Cadet Yogeshwar Meena.
Thank you, Vanna. Jai Hind everyone. Myself Yogeshwar Meena. I am here to present Sandesh se Aatm song. Oh, oh, ऐ गुजरने वाली हवा बता मेरा इतना काम करेगी क्या मेरे गाँव जा मेरे दोस्तों को सलाम दे मेरे गाँव में है जो वो गली जहाँ रहती है मेरी दिलरुबा उसे मेरे प्यार का जाम दे उसे मेरे प्यार का जाम दे वहीं थोड़ी दूर है घर मेरा मेरे घर में है मेरी बूढ़ी माँ मेरी माँ के पैरों को छू के तू उसे उसके बेटे का नाम दे ऐ गुजरने वाली हवा जरा मेरे दोस्तों मेरी दिलरुबा मेरी माँ को मेरा पैगाम दे उन्हें जाके तू ये पैगाम दे मैं वापस आऊंगा मैं वापस आऊंगा फिर अपने गाँव में उसी की छाँव में कि माँ के आंचल से गाँव के पीपल से किसी के काजल से किया जो वादा था वो मैं निभाऊंगा मैं एक दिन आऊंगा मैं एक दिन आऊंगा मैं एक दिन आऊंगा थैंक यू
Wow, amazing voice. Now, I would like to invite Flight Cadets Siddharth and Rudra to inform the cadets about the schedule and detailment for tomorrow.
Tomorrow's detailment will be posted in the group. And for now, those cadets who have turned off their video, your attendance will not be marked as present. So next time, if you are here, please turn your video on. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you everyone for participating and cooperating with us. At the end, I would like to invite CTO Neeraj Emmanuel for vote of thanks.
Thank you, Vanna. And after going through two lovely songs, I feel that, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
yes sir
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. I would request everybody to switch on their microphone for some time. Switch it on. Because we have to plan something regarding 13. So I would request everybody to comment. I think both the songs that were sung today are final for 13. What do you feel?
Sure, sir.
Two songs and the poem of Rohit that was recited yesterday. I think these three things are final, and slowly we will be finalizing things. Anchors are final, Vanna and Shikha, and these two songs were really lovely songs, and the poem recited by Rohit was really very inspiring. So these three events are already final, and we still have time. So we have to finalize the presenters, and if anybody plays some instrument, that would be too good. because the issue of 15th August is also in front of us, I would like to inform you that I think Agra University is also planning the online some Tiranga Mahotsav instead, because I don't think they would be inviting the students for the flag hoisting ceremony. So I think at most of the places the flag hoisting ceremony will be online. So it would be good if someone plays some instrument. Otherwise, our main target is on 13th also, when we will be having guests among us. And the attendance was also good this time. But the only thing I feel is what happens, there are 53 cadets enrolled in the group. Now, these 53 cadets are basically the trained cadets, what we say, because when the part one cadets come to the scene, they get enrolled, they get inspired by the seniors. So if we get these 53 cadets as active cadets, this should be our main goal. This is a very small assignment. I am time and again I am telling you, this is a very small assignment. I am doing nothing. You are conducting the show. You are organizing everything. It is just an interaction amongst you people. So if you are not, the cadets are not taking these interactions seriously, because this is a simple interaction amongst yourself. I am just a witness to the event. You are interacting in this event. So the seriousness of the cadets can be seen from this small event. If I am having 30 cadets regular on a regular basis, or 40 cadets on a regular basis, I am going to take only these 30 to 40 cadets as our regular cadets, and remaining cadets will be vacated. The vacancies will be created for the, because at the moment I am not bound to continue with the old cadets, because if I have the option of enrolling new cadets. So just inform the other cadets also that you have to participate in this event. And as I have told you earlier, this time it is a possibility that your theory training classes might be on Zoom only. So this is just a practice session. Your theory classes are also important. All the things will be online. So keep it in mind that only the active cadets are going to continue this time. Last time also many cadets tried that we can give examination even if we are not attending parade, and it was not possible. So this time take it very seriously. The assignments are not big, but you have to grow. And especially one thing I want to tell you, this time Siddharth and Rudra are working very hard for the RDC applicants. We want that RDC applicants should grow. And these two cadets have actually excelled in RDC, and you are fortunate to have them amongst yourself. So just follow their instructions, whatever they are guiding you, and be prompt in whatever information they are asking for. They should not post it time and again. The moment you get get, uh, you are asked to give some information, be prompt, give it within 1 hour or 2 hours, so that they can proceed further. Practice well, and you have good guide among in both of them. These two are very good cadets, and you have to, if you want to excel, you have to follow them, right? So thank you very much for the session. It was really a very energetic session this time, and we are gaining day by day. You can also see the energy level is also increasing among the cadets. So keep it up, and we still have a long way to go, and keep performing well. Thank you again, the anchors and the presenters, and particularly the lovely song that was sung today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Jai Hind,
Thank
everyone.
you, sir.
Sir,
Over to you, Vadna.
Thank you, sir. So here we end.
Hello.
Jai Hind, everyone.
Hello.